what is the real reason that's causing you to not hit your goals, achieve the things that you see, dream about, the destination you're trying to get to? That's what we're talking about in this quick training. So we're on some time away over the next few days and with a couple of my kids. And last night we went to go to dinner and, well, guess what? We had a real bad traffic issue that caused us to be delayed by about 40 minutes. And one of my kids said, man, traffic really caused us to be late. And I said, well, actually, that's not what happened. They're like, what do you mean? I said, well, I didn't look to see, to plan for the traffic. And that's really what happened. Had I taken a peek and looked ahead of time, which I didn't do, that I should have done, and I knew better in the area that we're in, and this is where we've been here before many times, it's not unusual. The real responsibility was my lack of planning. But this is what happens to all of us, is that we end up going down this diatribe of excuses. Very simple, very normal. It's not abnormal at all. But if you really examine what's going on in your world, your life, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to achieve, if you really think about it and you really are open-minded to the reality of what's happening, it's our responsibility that turns into an excuse. It would be very easy for me just to simply say, man, that traffic, it absolutely had to make that traffic. Man, that traffic, I can't believe this traffic. But that's a normal thing. Ever since the apple was bitten, right? Ever since that sin was a thing, we became selfish. And that selfishness turns into excuses all the time. So how does this play into building anything, building a business, building a coaching practice, right? It's that, number one, we have to examine our heart. Now, this takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of effort. But those who are willing to really dig deep and look into the mirror and really self-reflect on where they are, what's actually happening, and you're honest with yourself. And let me be very clear, this is not simple for most people because it pushes against the natural norm of society to blame, right? We want to blame cast on somebody else, on circumstances. I don't have enough money. This didn't come through. That client didn't pay. This customer this, that customer that. And the list goes on and on and on. And look, I'm not suggesting that life doesn't happen and things that are out of our control. A lot of things are out of our control. However, not as much as out of your control than you realize. Your talk, your self-speak, the way you think is all in your control. You might not be able to control the outward environments, not be able to control the other individual, your business partner, that client, that prospect. But you can control your actions, you can control your words, you can control your thoughts, you can control those things, because when you do, the outward environments, the things that are happening all around us, lessen. And quite frankly, we also have to be realistic and reasonable. In most cases in life, it takes longer to do anything. It takes more money to do anything. If you ever built a home, maybe you've done that before. You built a home. Likely you went over budget. Likely it probably didn't come into the same time parameters that you had originally set out with the builder. You thought it was going to be done by a certain date. Maybe you had to make some shifts and do some things different. That happens all the time. Why? Because often life takes longer. But it's not about being longer. It's about us being unwilling to be realistic. See, realism says, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to expect that it's going to take a little bit longer and more effort, but more importantly, that pushes me to be more strategic. I want you to think about that right now. So if you're launching anything, let's just say you're launching your business coaching practice, you're launching a business of any kind, we need to be reasonable and realistic and responsible to say, there's going to be outward circumstances that I can't control that I don't know about today. And because of that, because I understand that, I'm going to plan for longer. I'm going to plan for more. I'm going to plan for more activity. I'm going to plan for more conversations. I'm not going to just be a mindset to where I believe that this is just going to be just super simple and it's going to be no big deal. There's going to be no challenges, no setbacks, no conversations that's going to derail me, no mindset issues, no impacts from other people, nobody who's saying that it won't work. These things happen because it's life. And the cool thing is you get to choose. You can choose right now today to take control of your excuses and stop them, number one, and turn that liability thinking and liability talking into asset thinking, into asset talking. Build yourself up, get accountable around you. But more importantly, increase your activities, increase the recognition of what it's going to take to just push through. For every level of things that happens, don't just sit there and just say, well, this isn't going to work. Because if you don't, here's what's going to happen. If you have the desire to build and to dream and you want to make an impact on the world, you want to make an impact on other people, you want to make a good living, you want to have great experiences for your family, you want to give back, going to do some amazing things. If that's you, I'm here to tell you that you have to take action with your attitude, with your mindset, and with your the ability to have a wall making excuses. We hear it all the time. We have a lot of people on our coaching team who also have a full-time job. They're in that season right now where they're in that transition phase. They're building that exit ramp to build their future. And so there's a lot going on. They have a lot of demands at work. They have a lot of demands at home, and they're building this business coaching practice at the same time. And so when you look at that, you could say, well, there's just too much going on. I don't have enough time. Or you could say, it's definitely, there's more right now in this season. That's the key. And kind of putting a box around the term this season, it helps you understand that then during this season, I am going to have to do more. This season is going to feel more chaotic. This season is going to bring things that I did not expect or I didn't understand, but I am going to push through. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to raise my activity level. I'm going to get super strategic on what it is that I need to do in order to succeed. So here's the encouragement for me, for you, and for anyone. If you want to build it, stop the excuses, begin to see what's potential, understand, just like the traffic analogy, we have to plan for things that we don't know what will happen to give ourselves more margin, to give ourselves more space, and stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming the prospect, stop blaming the client, stop blaming the rain, stop blaming all the different things that we blame. And when you find yourself in a position where you start to feel that urge, turn it around and ask this question: where was my responsibility? What could I have done better? What could I have done to achieve a different outcome? Because when you start to do that, you're going to start to get real with yourself and get connected with yourself, and things will change. If this meant something to you and it really kind of rattles you a little bit, send it to somebody else. Share it with somebody else who also needs this encouragement as well. All right? Until next time, take care.